My sister-in-law slapped me across the face at my own anniversary dinner in front of my own children because I served myself food before she got hers. "You forget your place in this family," she snapped, her hand still raised like she was proud of it. My husband looked away. He didn't stand. He didn't say one word in my defense. So I set down my fork, wiped my hands on the linen napkin I'd ironed that morning, and slapped her back, harder, without a shred of hesitation. Then I turned to the man I'd loved since I was 22 and said, "A husband who won't defend his wife in front of a room full of people doesn't deserve to stay her husband." I took my daughter's hand in one of mine, my son's in the other, and walked out of the house I'd helped pay for, still wearing the dress I'd bought for that night. 2 years later, the same family that told me to remember my place would learn exactly what theirs was. I'm Vanessa Hale. I grew up in a house with a circular driveway. My father built half the office parks in our county from nothing but a construction loan and stubbornness. What money never bought me was love that felt like mine, not a merger between matching bank accounts. I found that at 22 in a coffee shop on an ordinary Tuesday that became the start of everything. Damon Whitlock drove a car with 200,000 miles on it and sketched buildings at a mid-sized architecture firm. He made me laugh so hard I spilled my drink across the table. We talked 4 hours straight. My father was skeptical. My mother worried a man who marries into money learns to tolerate the woman for what surrounds her. I told her she was wrong. We married in a small garden ceremony my parents paid for. Damon's family attended with a strange, watchful stillness I mistook for shyness. It wasn't shyness. It was calculation, patient and quiet, and I didn't yet have the words to recognize it. His mother, Corinne, ran that family like a queen running a court in miniature. His older sister, Sylvia, was its uncontested princess, unmarried, financially dependent on the family catering business her late father-in-law had left behind, and quietly resentful of anyone who shifted the family's center of gravity even an inch. I was that threat. A woman with her own money, her own opinions, and a husband who, in the early years, looked at me like I mattered more than his sister's approval. That didn't last. Over 11 years, I absorbed hundreds of small, precise cuts, delivered with smiles, always in front of an audience large enough that any response would look like an overreaction, always followed by Damon's particular silence. Not agreement. I drove straight to my parents' house, 40 minutes away. My mother opened the door before I even knocked. "Come in, baby. You're safe here now." Damon called that night, then every few hours after, until my phone ran hot in my pocket. When I finally answered, 3 days later, he was full of the kind of apology dressed up as love, but really just fear of consequences. "I should have said something. We can fix this. The kids need their father." I asked him one question. "How many times, Damon? How many times, over 11 years, did you watch your mother or sister humiliate me at my own table and say nothing?" He didn't answer. We both already knew. Too many to count. I filed for divorce 11 days later. I hired an attorney named Marcus Whitfield, sharp, unflappable, trusted by my father for decades. I told him plainly what I wanted: my children, my house, and the truth about what that family had really been doing to us. Marcus found it first, buried in the financial disclosures. Over 4 years, more than $60,000 had quietly moved out of our joint account in small transfers, never large enough alone to raise a flag. The money had gone to Sylvia, not as gifts, but as unpaid loans funneled through Damon to keep her failing catering business afloat, a business Corinne had bankrolled for years and refused to let die. That wasn't the worst of it. Buried deeper was a notarized quitclaim form dated 18 months earlier, attempting to transfer a 10% ownership stake in our house, the house my own father helped me buy, into Corinne's name. My signature sat at the bottom, in ink I never put there. A forensic document examiner flagged inconsistent pressure patterns that didn't match my real signature. A convincing forgery, but not a perfect one. The county recorder's office confirmed something chilling. Their own routine verification had flagged the transfer months earlier and quietly held it, pending documentation that was never provided. It never fully went through. But the attempt was real, deliberate, and very likely criminal. Marcus warned me it would take years, not weeks. A detective would need to interview the notary. Bank records would need subpoenas. The district attorney's office would need to build its case slowly. Then he found something none of us expected. Cross-referencing county records, he discovered Corinne had attempted a nearly identical quitclaim maneuver decades earlier against her own late husband's sister, quietly settled out of public view. The next 2 years unfolded slower than I wanted and faster than I feared. Marcus referred the forged quitclaim to the district attorney's financial crimes unit. Damon, confronted with the transfer records, insisted he hadn't known about the forgery itself, only the loans to his sister, which he still called helping family, as if 11 years of my quiet generosity hadn't already been exactly that, given freely, never once demanded back. The custody proceedings moved on the strength of a pattern I hadn't realized I'd been documenting for years. Every school event, every doctor's appointment, every midnight fever, all mine, while Damon consistently deferred to his mother's opinions on how our children should be raised. The court awarded me primary custody, with a structured schedule for Damon, and a requirement that he fully account for the missing $60,000 before certain visitation terms could be finalized. My daughter, Harper, struggled the most in those early months. She asked me once, curled against my side, if it was her fault, if serving her own plate had somehow made things worse that night. I held her face in both hands and told her nothing about that dinner had ever been about a plate. It had been about a woman who needed someone smaller than her to feel powerful over. Never for 1 second anything Harper had done wrong. By the second year, both kids had settled into an ordinary rhythm: soccer teams, dinosaur posters, couch cushion cities. I watched my son build an entire world out of pillows one Saturday and realized children absorb far more resilience from a stable home than from a complicated one held together by silence. The house was restored fully to my name once the forensic report was accepted and Corinne's ownership claim was formally voided. The criminal case against her moved slower, exactly as Marcus warned, still building even now. But the civil result was already done. Rather than fight a fraud investigation that would pull his mother and sister deeper into it, Damon agreed to a settlement. Full restitution, paid in structured installments. Sylvia's catering business folded within the year, finally cut off from money that was never truly hers to give away. Corinne, facing exposure over both the recent forgery and the decades